want to bring music to the people, and we think it's an important issue. Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we're going to go over the history of HAB Records. And the history of HAB Records is really the history of one man, its founder, my father, Mr. Humberto Agudelo. So Bert Agudelo was born in 1932 and immigrated to this country in 1959. Before that, he was in radio. He was the head engineer for Radio Sutatensa in Bogota, Colombia. He arrived here in 1959 and decided to give his best shot at the industry. He struggled here for about 5 years in odd and end jobs as a delivery clerk, worked in a glass factory, and finally, in the mid-60s, he got his first big break, and that was due in big part to one Roman Catholic priest, Father Patrick Peyton. He owned, at that time, Family Theater Productions, and Family Theater Productions at that point had a weekly show that they ran, but also they consulted on every major film that was released from Hollywood that had a religious theme to it. So movies like The Robe and the Ten Commandments, etc. Family Theater Productions did some post-production work for it. And there is where my father really began doing audio post-production for the film industry. About 1968, he finally got a job at Liberty Records. And at Liberty Records, he worked at the facility, at the studio that was formerly the World Pacific Jazz headquarters. It was bought out by Liberty Studios and became the studio. That was located on West 3rd Street in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, West Hollywood adjacent. And at that particular facility, many hits were produced by Liberty Records. The engineers at that time were, the head engineer was Dino Lapis, the office manager was Kathy Keep, industry giants such as Lanky Lindstrot, my father, Christina Hirsch, really a good crew, probably one of the finest engineering crews that ever was. Anyhow, that changed hands from Liberty Records to Transamerica Corporation and then on to United Artists. And in about 1977, my father decided to do a little side job and start HAB Records. Habitant Records was originally incorporated in New Orleans, Louisiana. Its first release was Lyde, Fisher and Giles, and actually it's become kind of a soul classic. Lyde, Fisher and Giles it was a single, a 45 A-side and a B-side, which included Serve Me Right to Suffer and I'll Always Love You. So I'll Always Love You, Serve Me Right to Suffer were the A and B side of that release. He also signed a country western act, a guy by the name of Cerrito. He was a Italian guy from Rhode Island singing country western, and it was fantastic. I worked with them. I was the vice president of marketing, also a recording engineer as well. I worked for EMI America as a recordist, worked on the best of Kenny Rogers, best of Sheena Easton, the best of Slim Whitman. Worked a lot on the reissuing of the Blue Note Jazz series. My father worked on that as well. We both worked on that. My father got credit on most of the stuff. I was a recordist at the time, so we didn't get credit for that type of stuff. So that's the story of HAB Records. We're looking at possibly resurrecting the label, and really like to know if a label with the long history that it had would interest you guys. And what we're looking to do is something a little bit different. We're going to make this a record label that's not just owned by one particular person. I will be the CEO and the head of it. I have long experience in the record industry. But what we're really looking to do is to involve you guys. And what we're looking to do is to make it open for everyone to be able to not only invest in the company, but also to have a voice. So what we'll do is we'll bring on groups and artists that may interest you guys. We'll post it online. You guys will vote, make your comments, and then based on what everyone, all the owners, decide collectively to do, that's what we're going to do. We're going to also support artists in a different way. Mostly today, of course, artists The only way they can really make money is by touring. So what we'll do as a label is we will help them in their touring capabilities. We'll help establish touring for them when touring opens up again after this period of illness that we're going through. But we will be instrumental in setting up places, venues, times, dates, doing all that legwork that is really hard for them to do. Save them money and then allow the artists to make more money. We really want to bring music to the people, and we think it's an important issue. So if it's something that interests you guys, I'd love to hear your comments below. If we think we can do something, kind of change the industry a little bit, make something that's a little more amenable to everybody. So I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy.